Alright, so here we are. It's the final push to complete the Florida East Coast, the SW1200 rebuild. This is it. We're going to put the couplers on it, glue in the horn, and it's done. It's done. It seemed like it took forever, but it hasn't been that long. So here we go. Hey, I'm Jamie, and as you might recall, we've been rebuilding the Florida East Coast switcher I picked up. Again, this was a $20 thrift store find. I didn't even know it would work until I brought it home. We went through the test. We tore it down. What all did we do to it? We did put roller bearing trucks on it, dropped in the DCC decoder, 3D printed the different replacement grab irons for it, installed LED lighting, lubrication. God, I think there was like 25 episodes we did on this one little locomotive, and it is now nearing completion. It's one thing in model railroading is kind of stick to it. Again, you watched the video. I think I post about 2 of these a week. It was kind of a long process. Yeah, you could probably sit down and do it in about a day, but I find out for myself it's easier to break it down over a period of time and work on it as I get time, or weather permitting. Here it's been hot lately, so I've been more inside than outside. So this has been a great little project for me to keep me inside, to keep me occupied. And plus I'm building my layout. So let's just get to it. So if you remember, I pulled off the couplers. Here's the boxes with it. I'm going to replace, I think originally it had, if I remember right, the horn type couplers. We're going to replace them with KD number 4s and tighten it up, check the coupler height, put in the horn, and this is done. So let's just get started. Let me put the locomotive around here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I think it's safe to put it upside down. I really need to get one of those little foam things to keep everything in place. But as you see here, there's the screw hole here and a screw hole up front. This is where the couplers are going to go into, and it's as simple as taking the coupler box, sliding it in, and actually, you know what, it would be 1,000 times better for me to just do this outside of here. So there we go. Let's go ahead and drop in our coupler. Now we want to make sure, since the locomotive is like this, we want the bar, the brake lines to actually go towards the bottom. And we put the cover on. Snap it in place, and there's our coupler box. And then we can just come back to the locomotive, slide it in place, making sure it gets lined up with the hole, and we should be able to drop the original screw in. And with a flip screwdriver, yep, there it goes. And I'm just going to make sure it moves back and forth, so you don't want to tighten the screw too tightly. If you do, it just won't play. So you want to make sure there's enough play in there, but not too tight. Yep, there we go. That feels good. And I'm just going to rotate the locomotive around and repeat the same thing I just did on the front of it. The rounded part, as you see here, is going to go to the front. The flat is going to the bottom. So we can take it. There we go. Look at that. I'll have to say that looks good. Couplers should be fairly loose with some play. And let's just give it a quick test. Using a rail height tester. Katie makes these. Make sure the locomotive is on the track. And what I'm looking for is really the height checker. These couplers should be the same height. The pins should line up. There's actually a base on the bottom of the checker that your brake hose should go over the top of. And that looks good. We don't have to do any adjustments there. Let's just check the rear. And again, that one also looks great. Pretty much level height. There's clearance on the bottom. And actually, I don't have the locomotive all the way on the track there. There we go. This one is just a tad high, but I'm just going to leave it like it is. I think that's a good height for it. And there, we have that done. Final piece. The horn on the original one was broken off. I designed and 3D printed a double horn that we're going to put in its place. I painted it black. I just felt that was a good color combination with this one. I didn't have the Florida East Coast color to match, so you know this would do it. If you don't have the correct color, just paint it black. Nobody would notice. Well, somebody would notice. Let me use a little bit for this one. I'm going to use some CA. Let me make sure to put the lid back on tight so the next time I use it, it's not all dried out. And I'm just going to take the horn. Take the end that's going to go in the locomotive shell dip it into CA and line it up. I'm just going to hold it more like this. Give it a little bit of time. I'm just going to hold it while it dries, because I just want it to be straight. I debated about using some, for the CA, you can actually buy curing agent for it. I have some in the box there, which basically, it makes it dry instantly. A little hint also, you can actually use water. For those who don't know, the CA glue is actually pretty reactive when it comes to water. I mean, water hits it and it instantly cures. There's some fascinating facts about CA glue. I suggest look it up on YouTube. It's kind of quite amazing. And again, this is one of these compounds that just somebody happened to come upon. They were trying to design something else and they made CA instead. And so now we have this great CA super glue. And there we go, that is bonded. And we have the completed locomotive. You know, that's really not a bad deal for 20 bucks. So let's kind of think about this. So I bought the locomotive for $20. DCC decoder was the biggest investment I put into it. I want to say that was like another $20. So I'm at $40 for this locomotive with the handrails and everything like that. It's tough to say because I design them, but I resell them. So let's just say $10 worth of parts, upgrades. So what, we're at $40, $50. So we have, okay, let's go another dollar. Let's say $3 for the LEDs that went in there. So what, we're at $53 for a DCC enabled locomotive. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. I'm definitely going to run it on my layout. It's modernized. It looks great. I'll work on the couplers just a little bit. It's a little bit more loose than what I want it to be, but we can fix that one. Yep, see, now it's too tight. There we go. Let's kind of loosen it up a little bit. And once I get using it more, I'll probably come back and do some maintenance to kind of make sure that everything's working as it should. But again, what did I say? 53, let's just say 50, let's just say $55 out the door. Not a bad deal. Compared to the days prices of the locomotives, this is a great little workhorse. I'm happy with it. How about you? It's kind of funny talking about the thrift store finds. Again, this is something, you know, maybe not every store you're going to find locomotive or HO scale things in. I just happened to come by this one. If that's something you enjoy doing, maybe you can come by some good deals. What good deals have you came by recently? Well, I'd love to hear more about that. As far as thrift stores goes, it's great. Bring your wife, partner, whoever out with you, go thrift store, and if that's what you enjoy doing on the weekends, who knows? Who knows what you're going to find? So, the big question. So, really, what's next? So, you know, I never thought I'd say this, but a trolley. I always did trains. I like trains. Trolleys is something that I didn't think I would ever get into. But I'm doing kind of a freestyle layout, and trolleys actually play an important part of the layout. Here's kind of the story I share with you about the layout. You're going to have a good story for a layout. So the question becomes, let's just say that Henry Ford, somehow he didn't invent the modern assembly line as we know it, and that all the cars have to be hand-built. So that would make them uber expensive. And because of this, the federal government never invested in highways. They invested into the rail system. So a modern layout that runs trains and trolleys and passenger trains still. So I think that's a neat idea and something I'm going to explore. And so one of the trolleys I have, again, it's a thrift store find. This one was like $3. And we're going to strip the paint. We'll make sure it works first. Strip the paint, and we're going to paint it the town colors of the town I live in, which is Beaufort, North Carolina. Kind of unique history. We have a whole crest and all this other stuff. It's a very old town. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to make the Beaufort Traction Company, or really the Beaufort Transit Authority or something like that. So that's what we're going to do the next couple of episodes here, is to take this trolley, strip the paint for those who like it. I've got some really cool ideas. I'm going to print up some 3D parts and details for it. Drop in a DCC decoder. I'm all digital, so that will make sense. And give it a custom paint job. Put in some custom LED lighting. We're going to use some light strips, and that's going to be a really fun project. I never thought I could get excited about a trolley. But here we are. So, I really appreciate everybody watching, and if trolleys excite you, or you just want to see what I'm doing with it, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I think that covers it. So I'm going to box this guy. Well, I'm going to shoot a little bit of video of it moving around, but I'm going to then box this guy up and set him aside for my layout, which is also going to come up here in the fall. It's too hot to work in the garage right now on the layout, so that's going to come up here into the fall with a layout design. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen over the next few months. So suggest again, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And that covers it for this series. I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope everybody has a great super day. Talk to you soon. Bye.